Jeff Bezos has stolen over $100,000 from me.
What?
And it's a small business that is insurmountable. Like, I can't come back from that. So now I have to file for bankruptcy. I have to bankrupt my business, a business I started over 3 years ago, during COVID,
What?
when the world was at its roughest. I was so proud to be able to create something, and now I have to shut it down. So what happened? Well, I created a board game. It's called Disparity Trap. It's a social justice board game. It's basically like the board games we grew up on. Your goal is to go around the board, accrue wealth by hitting all these milestones, like getting a job or going to college, starting a business. The whole goal is that you are doing that in someone else's shoes by playing an identity different from yours that you live in. So it's putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It's living in someone else's perspective. And each of those milestones are based off real life statistics, real life research. So it's a very educational board game. It's to teach you about the inequities in our society. And in a very ironic fate, I am living through the statistics of my own board game, and I'm realizing that as I say it out loud right now.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So I created this board game with my own money, 100% of my own money. I saved up money during COVID. I invested that money into stocks. Grateful for the stocks that I happened to invest into, and I earned enough money that I felt confident to take that money out and invest into myself immediately. Over $20,000 of that money I spent in creating this board game, in terms of just like ideation of like putting it all together, play testing it, getting friends and family to all play it multiple times. All those people who've done this, thank you so much. You know who you are. And I launched a Kickstarter. And to launch that Kickstarter, I made a commercial. I spent $11,000 on that commercial. I wrote it, I directed it, I produced it. I had friends in it, but I paid everybody their union rates. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And I made this commercial. And then I put the commercial on Kickstarter, and I launched the Kickstarter, and it was funded in 5 days. And then I started doing pre-orders, and then I sold over 10,000 copies of this board game. And years into all of this, Amazon just takes it. They just take it. How do they take it? One day I go online. I'm using, just to clarify to people who don't understand, I put my board game with Amazon fulfillment centers. There's a whole program they have for small businesses where you could take your hard copy products that you created and put them in their facilities around the country, so that when people purchase it on your personal website, you can basically automate it so it sends it to their fulfillment center, and their fulfillment center ships it to those customers, and so it gets there really quickly. That sounded amazing to me. It was very affordable for a small business, so I did it. But then I sold, and I was selling. Amazon was like, we're going to charge you more. So I started charging me more money. They were charging me thousands of dollars a month to keep my inventory there. It went from hundreds to thousands of dollars to keep my inventory there. So I was like, I got to get my inventory out. So I started moving it out. But what they didn't tell me so clearly, they put it really into small places that is going to cost me 3 times more to get it out than it cost me to get it in per unit. Actually, 10 times more. It cost me a couple $100s to get my units there, but it cost me $10,000 to get a portion of it out. And by the time I could stop it, I had to pay still that $9,000. So I paid it. I went to debt on credit cards to pay that. I paid it. It wasn't good enough for Amazon. So they now, when I started moving it, I had to pay it. And then I was like, I have this other inventory. I don't want to work with Amazon anymore. I'm going to liquidate it. So that basically means I take that inventory and I give it to third-party sellers at a discount rate, and they could sell it their own way, and I make a little bit of money on that product. I lose out because I don't make the full price value of it, but I don't have to lose out by like having it sit on shelves, so to speak. I did that. So now Amazon owes me about $16,000, $17,000 because I'm using the whole system. Like Amazon's connecting us, me and the other third parties, because they have my product. And they get a portion of that, and my portion totals $16-something thousand. They already got their portion. And mine, after all of that, Amazon got their portion. After all of that, mine's $16-something thousand. And Amazon still doesn't want to give me that. They hold it off. They immediately flag somehow, not immediately, but right when the money was starting to be owed, like months later when the money's starting to be owed, because you have to wait a couple months for this whole process. Once the money was starting to be owed, they put a hold on my account. They deactivated my account. Then they say my account has been is suspected of fraudulent, criminal, illegal activity that's harmful to the customers. Don't know what that means. I made this product myself. I manufactured this myself with a manufacturer in China. Obviously, I didn't make this myself. In China. I paid for it to come to the United States. I did all the legal regulation. I made it all get here. I did the trademarking, all of it. So who's fraud? Who? Not one customer chargeback or complaint on my Amazon account. But they say they flag it. I go through the whole process. The whole process took 4 more months. And they don't get back to any of my emails for those 4 months. They're just like, submit information, submit information. I submit the information. I submit my paperwork, my insurance, all this stuff. They wait. They come back. They're like, they just have a standard message saying, we're going to maintain that you have been doing fraudulent activity. Doesn't tell me what exactly that activity is this whole time. Not one specific example of what I've done, just a standard template statement. I keep sending emails. I send dozens and dozens and dozens of emails, no replies from anyone that used to reply back to me back when I was in their good graces, I guess. But now, nothing from them. They just go dead silent. Then I finally get a message saying that they're going to go through a verification process. I go through the verification process. I don't see anyone on the screen. I just hear this voice of this Eastern European person talking to me. Don't even know if they're from the United States. Don't even know where they're from. They're just talking to me. I do all the things. I show my passport. I show all the things. They say, okay, we'll let you know in a few days what the result is. I get back a same template email. After review, we have made a final decision that you've been acting in fraudulent activity, and you are not going to get your inventory over 2,600 units, and you're not getting your $17,000. Basically, flat out, they're keeping all of it. And now, that's over $100,000 worth of inventory. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. So don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm asking for help. I have nothing left. So I need help. The best thing I want to do is try and pay back the people I owe money to. Even though I'm filed for bankruptcy, I still want to pay them back. So the best way to do that is to sell the remaining inventory I have. Like I said, I pulled some from Amazon. It cost me a lot of money to do it, but I have it, and I want to sell that as soon as possible. If you look at www.disparitytrap.com, you'll find where you could buy it. You will find it on Amazon. It will be cheaper. It's going to be like half the price because Amazon just does that. They steal it, and then now they're selling it, and they're making all the money off of it now. If you want to help, please purchase it from my website and share this. Thanks.